there's a whole different world down there, right? There's a whole different world in the water. There's a whole different world up there in the trees. There's a whole different world in my household compared to your household. Every animal has a different way of living. Every animal has a different way of thinking based on their way of living. And really, I'm making this video to give you guys another perspective on not necessarily that thoughts create reality, but that everyone's reality is different, so therefore everyone's thoughts are different, and that's why everyone's reality is different. The things that the frogs can do, right? These are tadpoles. The things those tadpoles could do over there are different than things frogs can do, but they aspire to be frogs. They don't aspire to be the fish. They don't aspire to be the deers in the trees up there. They don't aspire to be the birds in the trees up there. And they don't aspire to be a human being. So I guess my point is you need to figure out what type of human you are, what type of person you are, the thing you want to do. It might require you to think differently than you do now. The thing you want to do might require you to think differently than the people that are in your life. The people that are in your life might not want the same life you want. They might not. So, my thing is I'm very comfortable with not being comfortable, but I'm also very understanding that the life that I want requires me to do certain things. So, in order to go to places like this, I had to walk a certain way. I stopped right here to make this video real quick because I was talking to my kids about how I was walking, and I was talking about how the ants on the ground live a completely different life than, we do. There's a whole different world on the ground. And it made me think, okay, there's a whole different world inside of your head compared to the world inside of my head. I think that I can do the things that I aspire to do. You might not. I don't think negative thoughts about myself. I don't put myself down. These are things I do not do. I don't have depression. Sometimes I'm sad, but then I lift myself back up and I keep moving forward. It's based on my thoughts, and my thoughts keep the world that I live in spinning. Your thoughts keep the world that you live in spinning. So, I guess my point is, if you want to live in a better world, then you should live in a world where you're actually living to be the person that you were meant to be. So, meaning, if you were meant to be a frog, then you would start out as a little tadpole, and then you would advance into that aspect of the world. And if you were meant to be this plant, you will only be this plant. You're not going to try to be that plant, because you will never be that plant. And I think this is the main problem with social media. This is the main problem with our world today, is comparing ourselves to other people. And yes, those people might even look like you, but that don't mean that they are you. You know how many plants look alike, but live a completely different life, and they have completely different chemistry in the plant. They have completely different whatever. There's frogs, but there's different types of frogs. There's fishes, but there's different types of fishes. There's humans, but there's different types of humans. And you can't keep trying to put yourself in a box, because the more in a box you put yourself, it's the reason why you feel the way you feel. People feel anxiety because they feel bad for feeling like themselves, because maybe yourself isn't the beautiful fucking colored fish. Maybe you're just a catfish. But you need to be happy with being the catfish that you actually are. Rather be the person that you actually are than a person you're aspiring to be that's not you. So, the frog that aspires to be a fish is always going to be depressed. So, don't ever be the frog trying to be the fish. Just be a frog and be okay with that.